If you constantly feel triggered, reactive, or emotionally drained, this is your wake-up call to master your emotions, detach like a queen, and rise as the high-value woman you were born to be. Meet Maya, a young mother, just in her early 20s, balancing the demands of motherhood and a part-time job. One afternoon, as she was finishing up her shift, she received a call from her neighbor. Her heart skipped a beat when she heard the words, "Your son, Elijah, was hurt while playing outside. He's on his way to the hospital." Maya's world froze for a moment. Her breath caught in her throat as a mix of fear, panic, and anger rushed through her. Without thinking, she hung up and rushed out of the building, her mind racing. Her phone kept buzzing, but she was too shaken to answer. All that she could hear was the pounding of her own heart and the image of her son in pain flooding her thoughts. When she arrived at the hospital, she saw Elijah sitting on the bed, his small face scrunched in discomfort, an ice pack pressed to his bruised knee. The doctors assured her it wasn't serious, just a scrape and a bruise. But to Maya, it felt like the whole world had crumbled. As she sat beside him, trying to steady her shaking hands, she couldn't help but snap at the nurse who had gently suggested Elijah take a few minutes to calm down. Maya's voice rose without her even realizing it. Her emotions, overwhelmed by fear and concern, had taken over. She felt herself getting defensive and upset over nothing, a simple suggestion, but in that moment, it felt like the last straw. The overwhelming rush of feelings took control. Later, when Maya sat alone in her car, she couldn't help but replay the scene in her head. Why did she lose it? Why did her emotions run wild like that? It wasn't about the nurse, or even the situation. It was her emotions, unchecked and undirected. And in that moment, she realized, she needed to learn how to control this. This moment became a turning point for Maya, a reminder that, while it's okay to feel deeply as a mother, how she responded to those feelings would define her peace and her power in the long run. The path to emotional mastery. After that moment with Elijah, Maya realized something crucial: emotional mastery isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about understanding them, gaining control over them, and choosing how to respond, no matter how intense the situation. For a high-value woman, emotional mastery is a cornerstone of her strength. It's not about pretending to be unaffected or denying emotions. Instead, it's about recognizing what you're feeling, understanding where it comes from, and then choosing the most powerful, thoughtful response. It's the difference between reacting impulsively and responding with intention. Emotions, like fear, anger, or even joy, are natural. But for a high-value woman, she doesn't let her emotions run wild. She doesn't let them decide how she moves through life. Instead, she creates space to pause, breathe, and reflect before reacting. This space gives her the power to align her actions with her true values and goals, not just in the heat of the moment, but in all areas of her life. In Maya's case, it wasn't about feeling guilty for losing her temper. It was about recognizing the emotions that caused that outburst and taking steps to understand why they took over. Once she acknowledged that her fear for Elijah's safety had triggered her response, she was able to reframe the situation. Maya realized she could have approached the nurse calmly, trusted the professionals, and supported her son without letting fear dictate her actions. This shift in understanding, knowing that emotional mastery means control, not suppression, is what sets high-value women apart. It's a skill that elevates every part of their lives, from relationships to career to personal growth. When you can master your emotions, you don't just maintain your peace, you become a source of stability and strength for everyone around you. Recognizing emotional triggers. Triggers are those emotional reactions we experience when something touches a nerve or brings up past experiences. They can come from unexpected situations, comments, or even people, and they often lead to us feeling overwhelmed or defensive. Recognizing your triggers is crucial because it gives you the power to step back before reacting impulsively. When you're in control of your emotions, you're no longer controlled by them. For example, let's say you're at work and a colleague makes a comment about your performance. It might not seem like a big deal to them, but it triggers feelings of insecurity in you, making you feel defensive and upset. This is a classic scenario where your emotional reaction may not match the situation. By recognizing that you're feeling triggered, you can pause, breathe, and take a moment before responding, avoiding unnecessary drama. When you understand what triggers you, you can approach situations with grace. You're no longer at the mercy of your emotions. Instead, you're unbothered, unshakable, and in full control. This emotional mastery sets you apart as a high-value woman who doesn't let small things disturb her peace. The art of detaching with grace. Emotional detachment is one of the most powerful tools for maintaining control over your emotions. It's not about shutting people out or pretending you don't care. Instead, it's about keeping your composure, no matter what happens around you. Detaching emotionally allows you to stay grounded and centered, like a queen who rules her own emotions. Being emotionally detached means you don't take everything personally. It means that you don't let anyone's words or actions dictate how you feel. Whether someone cuts you off in traffic or says something hurtful, emotional detachment keeps you in control, allowing you to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. This approach leads to better decision-making, inner peace, and a sense of clarity. When you detach from the need to react to every situation, you create space for better choices. You begin to see the bigger picture and remain calm in the face of life's challenges. Understanding your emotions without being overwhelmed. Being emotionally intelligent means understanding your feelings rather than reacting right away. When something happens that triggers a strong emotional response, take a moment to acknowledge it. By identifying your emotions, you can gain insight into their cause and decide how to respond in a way that serves your best interests. Journaling is a fantastic way to process emotions. Writing down your thoughts and feelings gives you the chance to reflect on them. It's a way of understanding your emotions without letting them overwhelm you. Mindfulness practices, like deep breathing or meditation, also help you stay connected to your emotions without being consumed by them. Imagine feeling like a queen, calm and composed, in control of your emotions. You don't let the ups and downs of life throw you off balance. Instead, you acknowledge what you feel, process it, and move forward with clarity. This is the power of emotional mastery, and it's what helps you remain unbothered and unstoppable. If you're loving this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this with a friend who needs to hear this too, and let's help each other master our emotions. Responding, not reacting. There's a big difference between responding and reacting, and mastering this distinction is key to becoming a high-value woman. Reacting is impulsive, it's driven by emotion and often leads to regret. Responding, on the other hand, is intentional. It's thoughtful, controlled, and comes from a place of emotional understanding. A high-value woman doesn't let impulsive reactions control her life. She takes a step back, breathes, and considers the situation before responding. For example, imagine a stressful situation at work where a colleague sharply criticizes you in front of others. The old you might have reacted with frustration or defensiveness, but the new you, the empowered, emotionally masterful you, responds calmly, choosing not to engage in the drama. You take a moment to collect yourself, understand the root of your emotions, and respond with composure. This shows strength and maturity. Setting boundaries to protect your peace. Boundaries are essential for maintaining emotional balance. Setting them isn't about being harsh, it's about protecting your energy and respecting yourself. A high-value woman knows that her peace is non-negotiable. Remember, setting boundaries doesn't need to feel guilty. It's a sign of strength, not weakness. Don't be afraid to say no when needed, even if it's uncomfortable. How emotional mastery enhances your life and relationships. When you master your emotions, you build stronger relationships based on respect and trust. People are drawn to your calmness and ability to stay unshaken in chaotic situations. A high-value woman who stays composed radiates strength, which naturally attracts more respect from others. The Queen's Path to Emotional Mastery. In summary, emotional mastery is about recognizing triggers, detaching with grace, responding thoughtfully, and setting boundaries. It's a lifelong journey, but it's what separates a high-value woman from the rest. With practice, you'll become more empowered and unshakable. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who could benefit from this message. And be sure to subscribe for more empowering content and like this video if it spoke to you.